This car only has 7,000 miles on it and it's getting written off. It actually would have cost about £45,000 only a few months ago, back in 2024, and unfortunately now it's completely for the scrap. Now, looking at this side, you might think it's not really that bad. Obviously you can see the whole front end is perfectly fine. All the headlights and all are on, everything's working. Everything on the passenger side is all good. But if we come round to this driver's side, we will see what the damage is and why it's been written off. So you can see the whole quarter panel and the rear driver's side suspension has been completely ripped out of the car. With something like this, a lot of people would say that's not really a lot of damage. Put a quarter panel in it, put some suspension into it, but there is a lot of work to this, and it's also very, very hard to get parts for these at the minute, unless you're dealing with a company like us that has the parts there. At the minute, this is the only BYD Seal that we have in, but this car will go on to save a lot of different cars and keep them on the road. I'll get you a bit of a look around this one, and you can kind of see, if you own a BYD Seal or if you're thinking about buying one, how well they fare up if they're in a crash and what way they end up with it. So first things first, surprisingly enough, bar the damage in the back quarter panel, everything else actually works in the car. So you could probably still drive this thing. If you put the suspension bits in that it needs, it would go back on the road and it would drive just as it would the day it came out of the factory. Obviously you'd have to do quite a bit of work and quite a bit of straightening to get things right. As I say, with parts and whatnot and how much work's in it, that's why it's been written off. It's a category B vehicle, it can't go back on the road, it's only for parts. But for that, as I say, it could be driven. If we had a couple of bits of suspension components there, we could put them in and drive it around the yard. Obviously it can't be on the road again. Now if we take a look, the lights and everything are lighting up here. Very nice front end in these. I would imagine this front end would go pretty quick. We've already had a few people asking about parts for it, and for anybody who has one or who's trying to fix one, you would imagine the parts are quite hard to get for them at the minute, unfortunately. A little bit of damage on the front door here, but if we pop this door open, we can actually see everything's on in the dash. We can see our 7,777 miles on the clock. We can see that the screen still works, and this is actually my favorite thing about these. It could be the inner child in me, but I really enjoy this. So if we hit this button here, the screen spins the way you want it. There's quite a lot of customizability with them as well, so it's quite good. But if you look here back on the main screen, you can see, I'll actually bring you around this way instead, how many faults are on the dash, how many different things the car's screaming, saying please stop, brake level's low, this is broke, this isn't working, this isn't working, so please don't drive me. If you can see, if I put it into drive, it actually goes into drive. Now I'm not going to let it drive, because with the way the suspension is at the back, it's only going to cause damage or more damage. We'll put the handbrake back on. These are probably one of the most comfortable modern cars that I've sat in. A lot of older stuff from back in the 90s and that is always quite comfortable, but these seats are quite nice. I definitely wouldn't mind owning one of these cars myself. It's not a review now because I've never actually driven one of them. If I get a chance to drive one, I absolutely will. If I get a chance to buy one that needs a bit of parts, I might do that as well. You can see that we have the panoramic roof here, so if anybody does need one of them, very popular item to sell for the Tesla Model 3s and the Model Ys. But yeah, there's not really much more to it, bar the damage in the quarter panel there. We can see everything else is working. Seats still move, everything on the dash all works. I was trying to play a bit of music on it. I'll not, obviously for copyright reasons on YouTube here, but when I was trying to play a bit of music on this one, it wasn't working, so I don't know if that's anything to do with obviously all these faults in the dash. But it's definitely not really causing too many issues whenever we're trying to do stuff with it. simplistic enough car, works as you want it to do as well, and screams at you. Even though I have it in park, so it is showing it's in park, it's telling me every time I open the door, please shift into park, but it is in park. I don't know, maybe somebody has a better idea who owns one than me. But for this, so as I say, for anybody who doesn't know who we are EV Breakers. We break electric cars, we strip them down for parts, and we send the parts all over the world. So everything that you see on this car will be stripped down and will go towards helping to keep another one of these BYD Seals on the road. I would imagine, as I said a bit earlier on in the video, that the front end will probably go, I would say in one go, somebody who has maybe had a front end collision with their own and needs to get the parts and get it back on the road as soon as possible. Wheels and that are always a good seller for us, so we have a few good wheels. This one does have a bit of marks here on the front left wheel. Back left wheel is pretty okay. You can see there's a bit of a scuff on the bumper, but passenger tail light, I think the boot lid tail light did just survive. We can see obviously the little dent above there that goes into the absolute chaos that's happening in the back quarter panel here. So what I would like to do for you is I'd like to get this up in our lift. So we only have a few new lifts in, so I'm going to get it up onto the lift and we will get a look around it in the next video, kind of see how it's fared out, what damage we can see down the back here when we actually strip the different bits and pieces out, especially with getting the arch liner in that strip back, so we can actually see where it's ripped the skin. And if you were going to go down the road of fixing something like this, what you would do, or why it's just really not an economic repair. But we'll take a look at it, we'll see what we think. As I say, I don't know the full ins and outs in terms of body shop prices and that. I don't do any repair work like this, but we'll take a look at it, and any of the guys that do work in body shops can take a look and drop a comment and see what you think and see what you can do with it, or you know, what you couldn't do with it. We are going to get the battery out as well, so it's actually it's one of the new Blade batteries in these, so that's quite new technology, and it's going to be the one that a lot of people are going to want, especially for the likes of home energy storage and that. So we're going to take a look at that. We'll get the battery dropped out, we'll strip it down and see what's in it and what's going on with it, so keep an eye out for that video as well. But for now, just like, comment, subscribe, drop us a little comment, let us know what you thought of this, and we'll see you in the next video.